This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening. I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. Topping the news tonight, the fallout continues in the opposition Free National Movement. Yesterday, 7 members of the party moved a vote of no confidence in their party's leader, Dr. Hubert Minnis. A letter was sent to the Governor General to have Minnis's appointment revoked and have Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner replace him as the opposition's leader in Parliament. The MPs involved are Nico Grant, Loretta Butler Turner, Hubert Chipman, Richard Liborn, Theo Neely, Dr. Andre Rollins, and Edison Key. The move by the 7 F&M MPs has sparked an apparent uproar in the party, and last night the party's leader, Dr. Hubert Minnis, and the F&M's council held a meeting to discuss their next course of action. While many people did not wish to comment on the recent turn of events, we spoke with a few residents today who gave their take on the situation.
A lot of people are upset. They don't know what's going on. Mr. Menace is the leader, so I don't know what's the big deal. Why would they trying to destroy their own party? I'd like to know that.
It's not good. I think it could have been done in a more professional manner. They have to really get it together, because right now it looks like it's scattered, and we need something that is more stationary, and they need to get it together more sooner than later.
Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama Nico Grant is one of the F&M MPs at the center of the leadership uproar. Last night, the F&M Council voted to have Grant and the other 6 F&M MPs expelled if they don't resign. We caught up with Grant this afternoon at a gift distribution event in 8 Mile Rock. We asked Grant about his views on this latest turn of events in the party.
We're not going to deal with any of those questions. I will certainly give you an interview on it, but we've made a decision that we'll just deal with the press statement for now, and in another week or so, after we have had an opportunity to regroup, we'll certainly tell you about it. I did what I did in the best interest of the party and country. I have been commended by some, and I've been condemned by others. But what's important to me is that my conscience is clear and my heart is pure.
The Central Grand Bahama MP says they plan to release an official statement next week after they are able to regroup. Nico Grant has been in Parliament for 25 years and doesn't plan to offer as a candidate in the upcoming elections. The Pinders Point Lewis Yard Environmental Committee leading another demonstration today outside the Harold de Gregory complex, the second in just over a week. Residents of the Southern District are protesting concerns about foul odors and the settling of foreign substances, which they say have blanketed their communities for many years. The residents say the industrial companies surrounding their neighborhoods are to blame, and the age-old problem continues to have a negative impact on their health and well-being. The residents recently held a town meeting to discuss the issue, and just last week, Tuesday, they staged a demonstration near Buckeye and Farmacam. They say many of their loved ones are suffering from or have died from cancer, which they allege is being caused by the environmental challenges in the area. They are calling on the powers that be to relocate their communities. Now, Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, said that the government is actively working to bring some resolve to the situation. He noted that a report was compiled by PAHO and WHO on the environmental impact as it relates to residents in the Southern District. Minister Darville says that there is a joint effort between consultants, the GBPA, and industrial players to conduct another study in the area and chart the way forward for residents. This study is set to begin in January 2017 and is expected to last for some 13 weeks. In other news, a date has been set by officials of the Treasure Bay Casino regarding the payment of severance packages following the closure of the casino. Next week, Monday, December 12th, is when the process is set to begin. But tonight, ahead of that exercise, a group of casino dealers say they have some concerns. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
Croupiers from the Treasure Bay Casino say the closure of the lone gaming facility on Grand Bahama came as no surprise to them. In fact, they noted that it was the Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Obi Wolshcom, who during a meeting with the 150 workers of the casino on October 31st, laid all the cards on the table in an attempt to help prepare the employees for the inevitable. Now, ZNS News has obtained a copy of the latest communication issued to workers by Treasure Bay's Director of Human Resources and Community Development, Al Johnson. It outlines the way forward. It reads in part that the regular payroll for those who worked and were part of the operation up to December 4th, 2016 will be paid. The company, along with the government, has also made provisions to extend group medical insurance coverage through the month of December, in an effort to allow workers time to find alternative coverage. Now, while this comes as welcome news, foremost on the minds of casino dealers is another issue. Dealers, during a press conference outside the Harold Gregory building Wednesday morning, called for the assurance that an average of tips will be added to the separation packages.
We are taxed on our tips as well as our base pay from national insurance. Our tips has an average of 9.8% a week that's deducted from national insurance, and our base salary has an average of 3.9 that comes out of every week. And now we are being basically told by management that the severance package will only include our base pay and not a portion of our tips.
Now, while employees of the Treasure Bay are not unionized, local union leaders Kirk Russell and Deron Brooks are joining in the call for the displaced casino workers to get what they're entitled to by law.
These workers are entitled, not you could do them a favor. They are entitled to be paid that in full whenever they receive their severance.
The company decided to leave, that's fine, or whatever it is they decided to do, restructure, whatever. But at the same time, these Bahamian workers should get what they deserve.
Meanwhile, ZNS News contacted the Department of Labor here in Freeport about the matter. Officials there say they have met with all the relevant stakeholders regarding the pending severance payment exercise. They noted that they will ensure that once the disengagement exercise takes place, they will oversee the process to ensure that employees of Treasure Bay Casino receive all that they are entitled to by law. Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
With all the challenges facing Grand Bahama, the Grand Bahama Christian Council organized a special Thanksgiving service to pray for God's continued guidance and protection. Religious leaders say the service was long overdue to give thanks for bringing the island through Hurricane Matthew. Megan Shepherd has that story.
We worship you. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
The Grand Bahama Christian Council hosting a Thanksgiving service. Members of the community coming together at the Central Church of God, praising and worshiping. President of the council, Reverend Peter Pinder, says many have questioned the cause or reason for Hurricane Matthew. But Pinder says that there is nothing that happens that is not a part of God's plan. He says although there was devastation, the hurricane also brought about some good.
Nothing happens that God is not aware of. But the wonderful thing is that God uses us to fulfill His purpose. We all get caught up in going in our own directions with our own agendas. But in the past several weeks, we had the opportunity to work together, pray together, talk together, and there's been nothing but positive results coming out of the experience that we have had.
Undersecretary in the Ministry for Grand Bahama, Harcourt Brown, delivering remarks on behalf of Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville. Brown commending the council for bringing persons together in order to take their minds off of the storm and to give thanks.
I should like to commend the Grand Bahama Christian Council and its organizers for helping us all to focus our attention on the need for all of us to come together to say thank you to a graceful and merciful Father. Psalm 107, verses 8 to 9 reminds us that we should always give thanks to the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men. For he satisfies the longing soul and fills the hungry souls with gladness.
Second Vice President Apostle Anthony Grant delivering remarks. He says in spite of everything, we must rejoice for the blessings of God.
Giving thanks is a natural expression of a thankful heart to God in response to his blessings, to his protection, his sustaining power, his guidance, or his love. It is not a tool to be used to try to manipulate the will of God, and it is never compelled by threats or force or manufactured in the minds of men.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us, there's more news after this.